Hey guys, my name is Beau Brooks. They call me the Animal Jukebox, and today I'm going to talk about some waterfowl calling. Man, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest. We pretty much hunt every species of waterfowl. I always have a full lanyard. For me, you know, that's a lot of calls. I got 5 calls here, and I use all of them most every day. So I'm going to start off with, in my opinion, one of the most crucial calls that you can have on your lanyard. I love the 6-in-1 whistle. That was a dove. It wasn't supposed to be in there. Guys, the whole thing with the 6-in-1 whistle is you could do a Gadwall, Wigeon, Pintail, green-winged teal, Mallard Drake. So let's start off with the Wigeon whistle. Wigeon are a very loud bird, so listen to this. They communicate a lot with their whistles. So how do you get a Wigeon whistle? You hear the a lot of that is just fluctuation in the back of your throat. You're not going to put your finger in the call at all whatsoever. This is just holding it like this. I'm using the back of my throat going like I'm coughing almost. Very simple, guys. And a lot of times when I see a group of Wigeon, you'll see those white wings turn, and a lot of times I hit them with a wall of it. And so I go because a lot of times they love that sound. They love that wall of sound. And so if you guys are looking to harvest more Wigeon, that's a great sound. Next, the pintail. The pintail is the weariest of birds, in my opinion. So you still can call them. This is what a pintail sounds like. Pintails chirp a lot of times, and this is a fun fact, I've never heard a pintail chirp before Thanksgiving Day. A lot of times it's between courtship and just communication back and forth, but you can have great success chirping at them. So the big thing with chirping at a pintail is I take my pointer finger and I put it inside the call, there's the end there, and I actually put it up at an angle. That's like a 45-degree angle where I'm covering the whole thing. If you do it wide open, you're getting more of a green-winged teal sound. Close it up. All I'm doing is rolling my tongue. Trying to sound like 2 different pintails. They love that. Fun fact though, with the pintail, if you want to have more success harvesting the pintail, if that's not working, wherever you're at in the country, whatever native goose that you have there, the specklebelly, the snow goose, the Canada, they love goose calling. So a lot of times you have your buddy at the end, and I'll hit the I know that sounds crazy, but they love it. And it is a great way to harvest more pintails. And a lot of times I stay as far away from my mallard call with a pintail as I possibly can. Next, the green-winged teal. The green-winged teal is just a high-pitched version and a little bit shorter than the pintail drake. So this is what they sound like. The green-winged teal is short, fast bursts of air while rolling your tongue. I actually just barely put my finger in the end of it. You guys can see that here, and I'm just rolling my tongue. If it's just a single and he's talking and he's going back and forth, I just hit him with the single. If you see a wad of 20, all I'm doing is just a lot of times they love a wall of sound because you'll hear them in the air. They're flying. They're all talking. And if you can add in just a if you want to do that on a mallard call, you just cover up the end of it. I know we're getting a little off track, but guys, this will work so well for harvesting more teal. A lot of times that teal sound that I'm doing, again, that is a late November sound into the end of January. I would tend to stick towards running a teal call earlier in the season. You know, if you have a teal season or if you're hunting them in October, like early November, a lot of times I don't use the whistle for them that time period. So the Mallard Drake is the sound of January. Mallard Drakes are always buzzing. They start their courtship in January. You can see they're buzzing around, they're chasing hens, they're paired up, they're buzzing by themselves. You know, you get a cold day, say the Platte River, you hear. He's looking for love. A lot of times, these birds have had plenty of this. They can get very wise to it. They do not get wise to the Mallard Drake whistle. It is a great sound, it finishes birds. And so how do you make this sound? So again, take your pointer finger, put it in at the end. I'm going zzz, tip of my tongue, roof of my mouth, making a buzzing sound. Zzz, zzz, like a bullfrog. Zzz, 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 I'm pushing up and then dropping down just a tad. You want to make it deeper, slowly start to cover it up. You don't want to cover it all the way like a pintail. Doesn't sound right. So I find a middle ground there that works for you and you're comfortable, and you're gonna have a lot of success with that. This is a great late season call and it works so well. Okay, the Gadwall. A lot of times with the Gadwall, I run that call. When I hear them, I can audibly hear the Gadwall. This is what they sound like. When Gadwall are flying by, and they're buzzing, a lot of times they're going beep, 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 beep. You know, a lot of times I just mimic that. And so, you know, they're a very tough bird to call sometimes, but if you're in the trees or you're in a place they want to be or it's cold, they will absolutely come into the sound they make. So, all I'm doing is taking a Mallard Drake whistle, but I'm going do 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 do. They love it. They eat it up. It works so well. All parts of the season, they're always making that sound. So if you guys are looking to add a little realism to it, make sure you learn how to run that. Wood duck, I just go. All I'm doing is taking my hand and I'm going toot. It is really not near as good as having a wood duck call. Truly, it's not a sound that I make a whole lot. I take my speckle belly. It's a lot better, but if you only have a 6-in-1 whistle, it can work really well for you. If you haven't duck hunted much, the feed call is obviously a sound. They chuckle when they're eating. So when they're coming to feed, they'll make a different one. It's just a You'll hear them when they're flying over. They make a feed call for that. They make a feed call for when they're in the water dabbling around. They make a feed call. It's all very different, but it's really truly what I like about a feed call is I run it as a more punctual sound to get their attention. It's definitely a less aggressive sound than hitting them with a high ball, a comeback call, any of that type of stuff. But my favorite sound is a cut. So what does that mean? A cut is an aggressive feed call. So there's a lot of great videos out there on how to feed call. I'm gonna show you how to do something that's gonna help you kill more ducks. So take the call, put it to your lips, and instead of going ticka, 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 you know, that's what a lot of people do for their feed call. You're gonna take a middle part of your tongue, put it to the roof of your mouth, and you're gonna say ka, ka, ka with a K. Opening and closing your hands. And so a lot of times, that's what I do to even break birds. You know, where you normally would hit them with a, or a, I go. And as they're coming, a lot of times I'll keep them coming, but I'm closing up my hand. And they love it, they eat it up, you know. Obviously, you've got to call birds on the corners. You've got to understand timing, but this is a great sound to add into your arsenal, and you're going to have more success with it. Let's talk about just a general quack. So, blowing out a candle. How I do it is I actually pinch the back of my throat just a tad. At the middle of my tongue, slowly closing it off. Do not let your cheeks blow up. That's what it's gonna sound like. You don't want that. And so, adding that realism, a lot of times you hear that Mallard Drake, he's coming by and he goes, if you hit him with a, lot of times you'll hear that, it's realism, the birds eat it up, he'll just lose it. Because that's not something that a lot of people are doing. Everybody's hitting them with that. And so, that's how you do it, but it's a very realistic call. Let's talk about my hail call. How I do my hail call, I want realism, especially when I'm working birds. If I'm breaking birds, I grab my cut down and I go. That's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about realism. A lot of times, if you watch a hen on the water, we got a pair of mallards circling and a hen, and I've watched them do it a lot of time. She's sitting there. When they get over, we're in her sight, she goes, usually 5 to 7 notes. It's not a 10-note thing. This is 5 to 7 notes. She doesn't necessarily do it at the most opportunistic times. She does it whenever she feels like it, but as a duck hunter, you can choose your timing and so a lot of times we're calling at the tail feathers, right? We're going on a corner, wingtips, tail feathers. Getting them to turn, shut up, or hit them with the cut like we did earlier. Or what you're doing with that hail call is telling them to do something. So if they're coming straight at you and you hit them with that, there's a lot of times they'll blow up. And so we may be getting a little sidetracked here, but it speaks to timing and realism. You know, if you can figure out timing and realism, put them hand in hand, you're gonna have more success. How do I hit this hail call though? So, I wish I had a better way of explaining how to do it, but I pinch the back of my throat, I use my tongue to regulate the sound. I pinch my lips because I like a Cajun squeal. There's a lot better videos out there on exactly how to do a hail call. I wish that I could give you guys better on that, but man, that's just personally how I do it, and it works so well for me. So don't overdo it. And if you want to quiet it down, you can take your hand and just close it up just a tad, which will make it stick if you do too much. I'm just gonna go through this quickly. This is quite possibly one of the most popular calls on the market, styles of calls on the market today. Let's talk about how I feed on a cut down call. So there's the cutting, right? That's awesome. It's great for breaking birds. But when a bird's circling, I actually take the tip of my tongue and I flutter it. I don't know if you can hear that. It doesn't take that much air in these cut down calls. A lot of people think that the cut down call takes a ton of air. Listen to this. I'm barely blowing any air. And so you find that sweet spot right there, and it just has so much realism. And the same thing goes for the quack. I'm just going, blowing out the candle. And then shutting it off with my tongue. Has a lot of realism. Birds love it. Lastly, the bark, the aggressive one, what we're gonna break birds. These are birds flying by in the nicest way possible, going to someone else's spread, you're going back and forth, you're having fun, this is fun. You're supposed to be fun, right? And so, what you're gonna do is tip of your tongue, regulating air, it's like you're spitting. Five. What I'm also doing is I'm trapping air with my hand. What I'm doing is I'm taking it, I can feel it in my hand, feeling that pressure and then releasing it. Pop, 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 pop. Is it realistic? Absolutely not. I've never heard a mallard duck do that, but man, does it break them. In a lot of places, you know, you go out west, you go up north, you know, the southern people, you guys all run them all the time, but in some of these other places, they've never heard that. And man, do they turn on a dime. I use this in a cornfield. They're going out, I want them to turn. You know, sometimes your regular duck call just is not enough for it. And especially early season, these birds haven't heard a whole lot of that. So you can really tell them what to do. So this is a great tool to have in your arsenal. You know, I keep them both, always have them both because versus I can go back and forth, and honestly, I'm pretty hard on reeds, so it kind of spreads that out too, so I don't have to change them as often. Hopefully this duck calling little mini seminar helps you guys out. I will say, we'll just do this as a fun one at the end. Late season, I kill a lot of ducks with my voice. I go, It's not that loud. They call it anking them down in Tennessee. But what you're doing is, it's just a sound to get, like, the last second, you know, you're like grabbing your gun and the bird's going by and you're like, oh man, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just, and they'll just, it's amazing. Try it. If it doesn't work, someone else told you to do it. I appreciate you guys, and we're gonna slip into some goose calling next.